Hello, my friends. Welcome. Thank you for taking the time to invest in yourself. I know that carving out some time is not always the easiest thing to do. And being here and investing in your time and your knowledge and your future is everything. So, today we're going to talk about undoing the shoulds. This is a topic that I'm insanely passionate about. It's something that I teach all of my clients, and it's something that I talk a lot about on the Gutsy podcast. So, let's get rolling. So first, I'm going to ask you kind of a deep question. So I like to just get right into it. When is the last time that you truly felt alive, grounded, connected, present, at peace within your life and inside your business if you have one? I'm going to take it a further step and say, when is the last time that you asked yourself, what do I want? You see, the majority of people are living their lives on autopilot, just getting through the day, weighed down by responsibilities, wishing the week away with hopes that maybe, just maybe, I'll get a break this weekend before Monday comes again, and maybe getting a passing glimpse of a dream about a life that you truly enjoy. People are basing their literal life decisions on what other people, circumstances, and situations tell them that they should. And that's what brings us to our conversation today. Some of these might sound familiar. Look, I could write an entire encyclopedia on the shoulds, but maybe some of these sound familiar to you. I should go to school, get married, have children, and buy a house. I should work my way up the corporate ladder and have that perfect corner office. I should lose the weight so that I look better. I should speak a certain way, or maybe I should not speak because I don't want to feel like I'm too much. I should put off my own needs to make sure that everyone and everything around me has their needs taken care of. Like I said, we could spend the entire 45 minutes together just listing out the shoulds. And what is mind blowing to me is how often these things pop into our head on a daily basis. And then to take it a step further, if you own a business, I should tone down my personality and be more professional. What does that even mean? I should offer a ton of services and keep up with the trends. I should follow what people are doing on Instagram and absolutely go after those things. I should grow a big team. I should make six figures a month, a year. And I should be on every social media platform and hustle 24/7. My friend, you have been taught to ignore your own dreams and your own desires in order to make people more comfortable, to fit into systemic expectations, to follow gender roles, to keep up with other people, and to fit neatly inside of a box that is predictable and some might say safe. You have been living under the magnifying glass of what you should do versus what you want to do. My name is LauraAura, and I'm kind of like a swift kick in the mental ass, followed by the most amazing hug that you've ever had in your life. And my role and goal in this world is to guide you back to your own alignment. Lisa mentioned I am an alignment coach. I host the Gutsy podcast, so we talk all about this stuff on a regular basis if this is of interest to you. And like I mentioned, my goal is to help you say yes to yourself again, to feel connected and grounded, to experience joy and happiness, to say yes to your own desires, and to learn how to trust yourself again. I communicate with, pass, and have encounters with women on a regular basis that are saying things like, well, I'm just getting through the day. I'm just getting by. Oh, I'll deal with that another day. Or I don't even know where to start. And nothing drives me more batshit crazy than watching a woman live a watered down version of the true life that she knows that she can have. And maybe if she doesn't know that she can have it, she's being robbed of the idea that it can happen, that you can feel alive, that you can follow what your gut is telling you and start doing things that you want to do instead of what you should. Today, I ask you to open your heart and your mind to feel what your body is telling you, and to play with the curiosity. Look, this is not a quick fix. This is not a hack. This is really about a lifelong shift. And it starts with noticing who you are, what you're doing, and how you're feeling. So, we're going to undo the shoulds today. So, first and foremost, let's take a big deep breath, because we're not just talking about, like, how to grow your social media account today. Very wonderful information. But today we're really going inside. We're getting deep with ourselves. And so wherever you are, whether you're in your office or your home or cuddled up on your couch or on your front porch, I want you to really, really get into your space. Feel into where you are. Take a deep breath, shake it out, like really kind of get connected with yourself. Get comfortable, and most importantly, get a pen, because we all have really good intentions on remembering things. And then, you listen to four or five, six speakers today. And at the end of the day, you're like, wait a second, what was that good thing that I wanted to do? So write this down today. If you have an aha moment, be sure to write it down. So, first and foremost, I want to talk to you about what alignment is. You'll hear me say that word a lot in everything that I do. And so, alignment is nothing more than being who you are. And I know that sounds like, okay, Laura, what, there must be some more to that. But it literally can be as simple as being, acting, and speaking, showing up as you. So, when you're in alignment, you're making decisions and taking action from your soul. You're listening to yourself, and you're honoring your body and your energy and those intuitive drop ins that you're getting. You're trusting your ideas and you're trusting your intuition, because sometimes you get these intuitive drop ins or you get these feelings and you're like, well, this feels kind of crazy. How do I explain this? Look, your intuition is yours and yours only, and only you can know what that sounds and feels like. And alignment is quite literally your deepest, truest connection to your full self, your younger child, that fun, playful, adventurous little girl that ran around and had this amazing imagination, to your current day self, present here in the moment, living this life, and your future self, where you're headed, where you're going, and what you're accomplishing in this life. Alignment is like taking all three of those and wrapping them up into one package. And my friend, the power of alignment is insane, like insane in the best of ways. I put this big and bold right in front of you because I want you to know that your aligned decisions do not have to make sense to anyone else. A lot of times you're not going to be able to explain what you're thinking and what you're feeling. Only you need to understand the why behind it. If it feels right to you, if it feels aligned to you, if it feels like a hell yes to you, no one else needs to understand. So alignment looks like big, excited energy. Like when you're just like on and you're like, yes, this is it. I love it. I feel it. That's alignment. Genuinely enjoying life. Look, how many people are living, like I mentioned earlier, in this autopilot of just going through the day to day mundane routine. Every day is the same. When you're in alignment, you are truly enjoying life. You're present in those moments. There is an ease and a flow to the things that you're doing, whether it's in personal life or in business. Things just kind of tend to roll a little bit easier. I look at alignment a lot like being on a 5-lane highway with no cars. It's just smooth sailing. There's no obstacles. There's no construction. There are no 18-wheelers. It's just you and the open road. And alignment feels like deep fulfillment. Like at the end of the day, you feel good. You feel like you contributed in this world. You feel like you honored yourself. You feel like you explored and you were curious. And there's just this inner peace. And it's why I'm so damn passionate about teaching this, because it's possible. For every single human being on the planet, your own version of alignment is 1,000% possible. On the other side of the coin, there's misalignment. And I tell you, when you start to dabble in and understand what your aligned self feels like and sounds like, misalignment will start flashing itself like a bright red light in front of you. So, misalignment is making decisions through the lens of I should. We're talking about the shoulds today. Oftentimes, when we're saying, I should go to that family event, I should go to this corporate party, I should offer this service, I should insert whatever it is that's coming up for you. That's not making a decision from a space of alignment. It's continuing to do things even when they drain the shit out of your energy. You know, when you do that one activity or you go to that one person's house or you have that one phone call and like at the end of it, you're just like, oh, I have nothing left to give. Misalignment, my friend. Forcing yourself, rushing yourself, cramming yourself, like time, money, effort. If you're just like constantly beating up against the wall, misalignment. Okay, I want you to hear me very loud with this. Saying yes when you want to say no. You know, you've been there, I've been there. You know, look, this is not a perfect road, and it's a continuous habit to form. But when you can feel in your gut, in your soul, in your heart, wherever, I don't care, in your left pinky toe, wherever you feel it, if you're like, man, I just really don't, I just really don't, I can't, I don't have the energy, I don't want to. Oh, yes, absolutely, we'll be there. Misalignment, my friend. You're allowed to say no. And misalignment happens when you're ignoring your own needs, ignoring what your body's telling you, when you're tired, when you're exhausted, when you need more nutrients, maybe when you need to get outside in nature, maybe you need to crank up some music, whatever it is that your body is trying to tell you. When you do not listen to it, eventually it makes you. So misalignment looks like consistent frustration. Like if something is just consistently frustrating, that's a pretty good sign that we're out of alignment. Low energy, or you're just feeling drained on a regular basis, like somebody just unplugged you from the wall. Misalignment. Going through life with I have to versus I get to. There's a really big difference in energy exchange between I have to do something and I get to do something. And lack of motivation. Now, look, we're all human beings, and sometimes it's gray outside and you just don't want to. It happens. But if you're experiencing on a regular basis this lack of motivation to do anything in your life, that's a pretty good sign that maybe misalignment is part of this. So, how do you get into alignment and undo the shoulds? I'm so glad that you asked, my friend. So I'm going to walk you through a process. This is a good time to take notes. Um, there, we're not going to be able to pause and like have the full time to dig fully into this. If I'm not mistaken, you're going to get access to this video afterwards. So I would encourage you to come back to this and pause it in these sections to fully work through this process. But I at least want to explain it to you so that you have access to it and to start getting your wheels turning. So first and foremost, we need to take an emotional inventory of where you currently are right here today in this moment. So if you have a piece of paper, I would encourage you to split it into 3 columns. Take a notebook, flip it on its side, break it into 3 columns. And on the left, we're going to write the headline, what drains me? In the center, you'll put neutral. And on the right, what excites me? However you draw this, write this, sketch this, it's yours. There's no right or wrong. There's no one way that you should do this. See what I did there? This is your exercise. This is just kind of a graph to give you some guidance. So things to think about of what you'll be putting in these categories. What we're doing is, again, we're taking an emotional inventory of where you are right now, just so you have a picture of the landscape. We're looking at the things and activities that drain you, stuff that you kind of feel indifferent about, and the things that really excite you. So some things that you may want to consider, there's probably a bajillion others, but just to get your brain going this afternoon, things like your career or your business, different hobbies or ideas that you have. People, that's a big one. That's like I should have had that big one right in the middle. People and groups that you're a part of. Maybe your workout routine or not workout routine, foods that you're eating, daily tasks, like things that you're doing on a regular basis, spirituality, whatever that means to you, your personal style, like literally how you dress, how you wear yourself, the types of shoes that you have, and different commitments that you have. Again, there's probably a bajillion other things, but I want to get your wheels turning to start thinking about these different aspects of your life and how you may be showing up in the land of shoulds and what is draining your energy. So, things to think about and to write in the left-hand column, and things to really just like hone in on. First, the things that drain you. Look at where you're procrastinating. I mean, if you are procrastinating like hell on something on a regular basis, chances are that's something that drains your energy, and that may be something that you feel like you should do. Places that you're feeling frustrated or angry, big emotions, right? The big emotions are not always bad. I think anger gets a bad rap sometimes. Anger is literally just an indication that something in your life needs your attention. There's a need that needs to be met. There's something to face. There's something we need to communicate. So, what's making you frustrated or angry on a regular basis? Where are you feeling discouraged or like you're forcing yourself to do things? Where are you lacking motivation? If you think about the things that you're doing on a regular basis, and you're like, you're just dragging your feet along, and then that goes into procrastination. Like, I don't know, let's just say you're on your kid's PTO and or PTA, whatever it's called. And you thought it was a good thing. You wanted to do it. You wanted to contribute to this organization. You wanted to be a part of it. But you know that every Tuesday at 7, you have to go to that meeting, and you are dragging ass. You procrastinate if something else pops up. Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to do that instead. You drag yourself there. It drains your energy. It's like pulling teeth to get you there. And then by the time you leave, you're just like, well, it's drained me. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. On the, that same activity could be on the other side of this. No offense to PTAs. I'm sure that they're lovely, but it's not for everybody. My point is, I want you to start being aware of what you're doing and how it's making you feel. Maybe there's also some mundane or just like regularly challenging things that you're dealing with. There's so much energy, like your body is constantly speaking to you. And so on the other side, we're looking at things that excite you. So, what are some things that you look forward to on a regular basis? Things that make you really excited and happy, and you're like, yes, this thing is coming up. I'll use the same damn example. The PTA, you're like, yes, it's Tuesday at 7. I cannot wait to go to this because I love to contribute. I love to give my ideas, and I love to feel like I'm making a difference at the school system. See, one activity is not the same for another. And that's where the lens of should. I should be on this board. I should go to this organization and be a part of it versus I want to. I want to go there. Do you see how that energy like really starts to speak? Things that you are motivated by. They truly bring you joy. They're fun, enjoyable, like it's filling your cup. After you do it, you don't feel drained. You feel like you could take on the world. You're like, yes, this was fucking awesome. Like, let's do more of this because this feels great. And probably one of the coolest parts of this is the things that come natural to you. What's easy? What makes you feel alive when you're doing these activities? So, again, there's not going to be a ton of time right now in this moment to go through this full exercise together. But I want you to come back to this and use this chart to just start evaluating where you currently are in the landscape of your life. There's no right, there is no wrong. It just simply is. Second is to move on. Oh, and I kind of skipped over. There's the center neutral. There's going to be some things in life where like you don't super love it, but you don't super hate it either. And it just kind of needs to be done. Making dinner. Why that comes every single day at the same time, I don't know. I don't know if you have the same problem or not, but it's like I don't love it, I don't hate it, but there are things that I can do to help support myself with that, right? So there are some regular things. If you don't have a strong feeling one way or the other, they can simply live in the center, and then you can decide from there. Um, is there something I can do to support that task or that feeling to shift it into what excites me, or can I delegate it and get it out of my life? That's always an option too. All right. Second is to get to know yourself again, my friend. When's the last time you really sat with yourself? Think about who you are. Like, I'm going to go back to the question from the beginning of this is when's the last time you said, what do I want? What does Susie want? What does Lisa want? What does Karen want? What does Laura want? That was one of the biggest questions that I asked myself when I really started my alignment journey, when I really started to understand what alignment was and what purpose it served. Look, I had been living on autopilot in my business. Oh my gosh, for 13 years, doing what I felt like I should do, how I should do it, showing up in certain ways, growing the business a certain way. And I ended up almost losing my business when COVID hit. I had to lay off my entire staff. I went home into my basement, packed up all my things, and I had to refigure out my life because it wasn't working. I was drained. I was exhausted. I wasn't motivated. And I had built something that I then felt like a prisoner in. And so the very first question that I asked myself was, what does Laura want? And I started to rebuild my life from there. I can tell you, totally worth it. So I want you to ask yourself, what do I actually want? Again, there's no right or wrong. This is for you. This is your dream space. And the cool thing about that is, yes, it might be a dream space right now, but if you start to get clarity, if you start to really pour into who you are and what you truly want, those things can start to come true in an instant. Look, alignment works in magically, magically quick ways sometimes. I'm talking like you decide you get in alignment and things can happen just like that. So think about what do you enjoy doing that you haven't done in a long ass time? Maybe it's a dance party, maybe it's painting a mural, maybe it's taking a knitting class, maybe it's sitting outside barefoot in the grass. I don't know. I'm certain that there's something that you used to love to do that you haven't done in a long time because circumstances get in the way, responsibility, family, if you have children, your work. I mean, there's 1,000 reasons why you don't have time for yourself. But I want you to hear me with all the love in my heart. If you don't make time for yourself, nothing and no one else will. You have to become your own priority. You have to become your own advocate because you're worth it. Your joy is worth it. Your dreams are worth it. That little voice that you hear sometimes when you're like, I'm not sure what that is, but it kind of excites me. That's worth it. So, what are some things that you haven't done in a long time that you're like, you know what? Maybe I'll dabble in that again. What if I gave myself an hour today to paint on a wall or to crochet a sweater or whatever it is that you enjoy? I want you to also start thinking and taking notice to what ideas keep coming back to me. What do I keep hearing? What do I keep feeling? Is there a reoccurring pattern in my life? Starting to take notice to what keeps coming back to you is your alignment calling. It's like, hey, I haven't been able to get a hold of you in a while. Look, I'm dating myself. Yep, totally grew up in the 80s and 90s. I haven't been able to get a hold of you in a while. So I'm just going to leave you this little nugget of an idea. Okay, I'll try again later. And then it hangs up. And then it comes back again. And then you see a sign that has something on it, and then you hear someone else talking about it, and it just keeps kind of reoccurring. So just start taking notice to what keeps coming back to you. That could be a really cool indication that your alignment is trying to guide you if you will listen. What do you daydream about? When you're driving in the car and you're alone, or the kids are asleep, or you're laying in bed before you go to bed, you're laying in bed before you go to sleep. You're taking a walk, listening to a podcast. What is it that you're daydreaming about? What if you allowed yourself to start leaning into that? Creating a Pinterest board for it, or making a vision board, or writing it down, or journaling. What if you started to lean into that? And then what are you not liking about where you currently are? Look, all of those are good, big, like opening energy questions. And then we have to be faced with, okay, well, what do I not like about where I'm at? There's a reality check sometimes that needs to come into play where like I need to honor that I have been ignoring myself and that I need to make myself a priority. Facing the reality is not the fun part, just so you know. It's not always the one that people run to and are like, "Ooh, Laura, sign me up. I want to face my shit. Let's do that today." But I tell you, it's a really important step because you learn so much about yourself through this process. So much about yourself. I want you to start noticing, where are you numbing out or shutting down? Avoiding is a good word as well. For me, it used to be wine. Look, during shutdown, I don't know how much alcohol I drank, and I'm not proud of it, but it is part of my story. I think it's a pretty good indicator as to why I don't drink anymore now, but I didn't want to deal with it. The easiest way for me to deal with it was to not deal with it. So it may be alcohol, it may be TV, it may be mindlessly scrolling through TikTok. I do that too sometimes. So I'm not here to judge. I just want you to notice. We're simply just bringing awareness to all of this. What fear do you have around your desire? Like, are you afraid that you're going to lose something, miss out on something, something is going to repeat itself? Start leaning into noticing, why do I feel afraid right now? And where is that coming from? And then, what's stopping you from being you? What's stopping you from leaning into the wants and then acting on them? You might have something that pops up right now. Or it might be one of those questions where, like, 4 hours from now, you're like, damn it, Laura. I get that a lot. And it's okay because it's getting you to think, it's getting you to feel. Like, your mind will try and tell you so many things. Your mind will lie to you. Ooh, will it lie to you? Because it is a congregation, it is a plethora, it is a combination of everyone else's thoughts, feelings, and expectations, every scenario you've ever lived in your life, every piece of information that you've ever absorbed. So the mind can get a little, and it will tell you a lot of things because you're hearing a lot of different perspectives. Your body, on the other hand, is only you. It's only your truest, deepest feeling. So I encourage you to ask yourself, what helps me to feel connected to myself, to calm the mind, to get into the body? What helps me to like regroup and reground and have that like inner stability to make decisions from, to act upon, to wind down with? How can I feel connected versus numbed out? So maybe it's things like being in nature. For me, I'm a I need to be in a nature kind of gal. So I will get my feet on the ground, my bare feet on the ground. I love, love, love to ground. Like, if I can get outside after I've been a little totally brings me back into myself. Maybe it's dancing or singing or playing music at an obnoxiously loud rate that makes you so incredibly happy that you're just like, ah, there I am again. Maybe it's time with friends, good quality time with people that you really truly love to be around. Or perhaps it's creating or traveling or trying something new. Last but not least is recognizing and allowing. So we talked a lot about recognizing, and you see how important this is. Like, look, we can't make any shifts if you don't recognize it. So when you're on autopilot, you're not thinking about what you're feeling. You're just thinking about what you want to get done, where you want to be finished, where you want to shut things down and off. So today, to start undoing the shoulds, you have to start recognizing them. So I have a challenge for you. If you're up for the challenge, I encourage you today or tomorrow, pick a day, I don't care when, get a sticky note or a notepad. And every time you say or think the word should, I want you to write a little tick. Again, we're just building awareness. I want to start flexing that muscle in your mind to start being aware of the word should. This is going to be a very eye-opening experience for you, just so you know. It's going to be like, I didn't even realize that. I didn't know I was doing it with that. I didn't know I was doing it at work. I didn't know I was doing it with my kids, with my family, with my spouse, in my house. And now I'm rhyming like Dr. Seuss here. Like it's really mind blowing, but in such a powerful way, because when you realize it and you see it, like there's a whole ass sticky note full of check marks and ticks, you're going to be like, okay, I start to get this. So as you're going through this, this is what I would consider the undoing process. Okay. If you want to take this a step further, this is how you start to rewire the brain. I want to I want to really understand and research the brain further, because I think that there's so many interesting pathways and understanding neurologically how we work and how we're wired. But one thing that I do know for sure is that we have pathways in our brain, and we have the ability to change those pathways. So a lot of the shoulds, a lot of the habits, a lot of the like reoccurring things that we have, it's a pathway. We've carved that road. You know, when you go down an old dirt road and like the cars have always gone down the same path, so there's those grooves and your tires just fit perfectly down in them. That's kind of what your brain is like. And that's where a lot of shoulds fall as well. So by recognizing it, we're starting to take that car and be like, oh, you know what? Actually, maybe I want to go this way a little bit, or maybe I want to go that way. Maybe I want to create a new path to my destination. So the first step is to recognize the should. Like when you really start getting into this, this is like a daily habit. This is a daily shift. I still do this. It's not like getting to a certain place and then it's just magically fixed and gone. It does get a lot easier, I can tell you that, but you're retraining a muscle. You are growing a muscle, maybe that you've never flexed before. So in the moment when you're like, "Oh, I should go to that birthday party." Hmm, I should go to that birthday party. Then I want you to ask yourself, well, what do I truly want? Do I want to go to that birthday party? Feel into this, not the chatter in your brain, not all the voices. Well, if they did this and oh, I might upset that person. I'm telling you, it gets real loud in there. I want you to pause and come into yourself. I should go to the birthday party. Hmm. Do I want to go to that birthday party? You know, I've just really kind of had a long day at work and I'm already feeling a little bit drained. Um, and I just don't really think that I want to go. I don't want to go to this birthday party. I'm not going to this birthday party. Sends a text, makes a phone call. Okay. That's the pattern. Pausing, recognizing, asking yourself, and then taking the action that you actually want to do, because you are allowed to say no. You are allowed to not go to that party. You are allowed to leave the organization that drains your energy. You are allowed to let go of services in your business that drain who you are and that you just like really don't want to do. Like you are allowed to do those things. I think it's insane like how many people realize that they don't that they have the power to say no but don't believe it. This is literally a daily activity. Wash, rinse, repeat. Wash, rinse, repeat. And I promise you, once you start doing it, you're going to recognize it. Oh man, it just starts like coming up and you're going to be like, "Ooh, I just said should." And then you're going to start calling your friends out on it, and that's really fun. Look, transformation in your life requires movement, taking action, doing something different, and listening and honoring your body, your mind, your soul, your desires. This is not a quick fix. It is not a hack. It's not an overnight success formula. I can't make those promises, but what I can promise you is that big shifts, come from the tiny decisions that you make on a daily basis. The tiny decisions that you make on a regular basis add up to those bigger shifts in your life, my friend. We're not flipping tables over and selling everything we own and moving to another country and divorcing our spouse. That's not what this is about. Unless, of course, that's your aligned path. And if so, have at it. But I want you to understand that making these shifts in your life and starting to honor yourself, it's not like, okay, it was this way yesterday and now it's magically perfectly better today and now always. This is a practice. This is honoring yourself, being aware of yourself, and then giving yourself the permission to say no, giving yourself the permission to explore, giving yourself the permission to expand into things even when they don't make any sense. Decision by decision, moment by moment, and day by day, you start undoing the shoulds in your life and you start honoring what you truly want. I promise you, I promise you, I promise you, the things that you see and feel on the inside can start to become your reality. If you honor what you want versus doing what you feel like you should, you're going to start feeling grounded, connected. You're going to feel like alive again and lit up and excited about your life. You're going to feel excited and motivated about the things that you're doing. Like there's this genuine joy in your life again. You know, when sometimes you see people and they've just got like this little extra spark to them and you're like, I wonder I wonder what they've got. Like what did they eat for breakfast? I want some of that. I might guess that they're doing something that's in alignment with them because when you're in alignment, you shine. Boy, do you shine. There's just this extra glow about you. There's a little extra pep in your step. You're excited to get out of bed in the morning. And you know what? I know one of the things that I hear the most are people are afraid that by saying yes to themselves that they're going to take away from others, their kids, their spouse, their family members. And it's like, listen, I want you to know something so near and dear to my heart is that by caring for yourself, by filling yourself. I know you've heard the put the mask on yourself before your friend, fill your own cup before you fill others. You've heard this a million times, but maybe just maybe today, this will resonate a little bit differently. What if taking care of yourself and honoring who you truly are and the desires that you have allows you to be more of yourself, which then allows you to give more of yourself to the people that need you most? Yeah, being you and taking care of you actually helps you to take care of those people on a deeper level. That's incredible because when you are happy, when you are full of joy, when you are excited to do things, and instead of coming home from work like slamming cabinets and like plopping down on the couch and scrolling TikTok and down in a guzzle of wine, what if you walked in the door and you're like, I'm super excited to see all of you. Let's go to the park. Let's play in the backyard. Let's do a craft together. Look, this is the difference between saying yes to yourself and doing things that you feel like you should. There's an inner joy, contentment, and peace. I used to fight the word contentment because I thought that that meant boring. Turns out that contentment has been my lifelong journey to find because within contentment is that, is a stillness, is a joy. I feel like a visual that comes to my mind is, you know, when you look at um, a Christmas tree that's just perfectly lit up and the room is dark and everything's just calm for the day. There's just a genuine beauty and stillness in that scene in that moment. To me, that's what alignment brings is that joy and peace and beauty in moments of your life. And most of all, probably most important of all, is you start to feel like yourself again. Whatever that is, whatever that feels like, maybe even for the first time ever, you get to rediscover who you truly are. Look, my name is LauraAura. It has been an absolute honor to share this space with you. I hope that our time together lit a little fire in you, made you lean in a little further, made you curious to explore, made you excited about what's possible in your life. So, again, thank you for sharing your time, investing in yourself today. And until I see you next time, stay gutsy.